Alrighty, so we are back, and today we are going to be going over the Part 2 LR for the Mercenary Tau celebration in June of 2025. Now, with this one, I think honestly, this may be the hardest to predict, and you are seeing, based on the thumbnail, that the character selection here, I'm not sure is going to be the greatest, but the good news is, with that being a not so like insane pick, unless they just go way out of the context of the celebration, there's a very good chance this is going to be a very easy skip for 99.99% of players, and that 0.01%, it's just their favorite character. So that does make things a little bit fun to predict, and we get to kind of go a little bit wild with who we think potentially it could be. So what is the context here? The context here is that this is the legendary summon in which Cell Max debuted over here with JP at the time, right? This was the June LR, and then we kind of moved on from there, right? This was the same time last year. And so this is going to be more than likely a legendary summon character that's going to have a 200 coin pity. There's going to be summon points on this banner and all that fun stuff, but that does not mean that there's going to be value here to be had on the banner. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. So what do we need to look at? Well, Mercenary Tau is, I guess we could just pull up Mercenary Tau individually, is a mission execution and Earthbred fighters leader. So more than likely, the buffs are going to be coming for the team that needs more help. And if you were to tell me between Earthbred fighters, and I already had this category pulled up, but between Earthbred fighters and mission execution, which team do you think needs more help? Is it this team right here, where the best character on the team is Tau and Glorio and Hit and Pycon? Or is it the team right here? If we pull up Earthbred Fighters, what do we have here? Oh, there's a lot more LRs here, you may notice. Is that Gogeta, Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Beast Gohan, the movie trio, Family Kamehameha, Tech UI Goku, Gotenks, Goku Frieza, Gohan? You get the point, right? The 10-year anniversary is basically right here. 5 of 6 LRs are on this team. So I think between the two, if we are going to go with a character that directly benefits Mercenary Tau, it's going to be a character from this mission execution category. That's assuming they stay within the realm of Mercenary Tau's team. So when you look at this right here, it's very difficult to figure out who potentially it could be, right? Do we get another LR Super 17 that's like a joined forces character, sort of similar to what we've seen with the STR version? It's possible. Do we get another standalone Super 17? It's possible, right? Because this Super 17 did come out 4 years ago, right? 4 years between versions for a character. I think that's fair. But the only issue is it's only been 2 years since we got this version of Super 17 down here. So that kind of, I don't want to say X's him out, but I do think that kind of diminishes the chance that we are going to be seeing Super 17. But again, I just didn't want to put like Gogeta or Vegito in the thumbnail. It just didn't feel like genuine, where I was like, what do I really think this category is going to be? So I didn't do it, right? But continuing to look at this, one character that I think could be potentially pretty interesting for this specific spot, if we can find him, would be Android 13. Now, I don't know why I can't find him, but he should be on this category, right? Where is Android 13? Is he just not? Yeah, here we go. So with Android 13, you might be wondering, mission execution. He is definitely directly carrying out the will of Dr. Gero, right? You could argue that all of the androids are, really, except for Cell. And I think that's kind of where you go, because like if we look at the androids up here, right, at 17 and 18 are really just here because of 16, right? That's sort of like the thing. Like technically, I think they do mention like we're here to, you know, take out Goku a few times, but really 16 is sort of the one that's hell-bent on it, and then 17 and 18, one of their cool things with their character development is sort of gaining their own conscious and control over themselves, in spite of what Dr. Gero tried to do to them, right? And then obviously with Krillin making the wish and then becoming more human-like, and 18 obviously having a family of her own, 17 having a family of his own. It's a whole thing. So mission execution isn't really a 17 and 18 thing, right? When we go to GT, right here, because this is Hellfighter 17, that's a whole different thing, because he's carrying out the will of the other doctor, right? I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head, but the one that helps him turn into Super 17. So it's just a bit of a different story with that one. So a standalone LR Android 16, I'm not really feeling. But back to what we were talking about with Android 13, I think there's potential here for this version of Android Fusion Android 13 right here. I think that this guy would make a lot of sense as a Part 2 LR for something, because we did get that Carnival movie trio from the end of 2023, I believe it was, into 2024, and they have some pretty modern animations, and it wouldn't surprise me as if they, at the same time of that character, they sort of had the idea in mind that the opponent of that trio was going to be this version of 13 right here. This is a really good spot to drop at Android 13 because most players will not be summoning, so it's not the end of the world that it's not the most hype thing ever. And then we could sort of just go full gear into the the global Dokkan campaign, right? That's sort of where we are at with this. But right now, I think Android 13 wouldn't be the craziest pick in the world, and I kind of think I'm talking myself into thinking it could be Fusion Android 13, because this guy would help a decent bit of teams aside from just mission execution, right? He is on, 8 categories here, and 8 decent ones at that. Movie bosses, pretty good. Transformation boost, pretty good. Power absorption, pretty good, right? With the Buhan domain. Fused fighters, not really going to make the cut on that team. It's just a very loaded category, and then mission execution. So, assuming that this guy has mission execution limitations and fused fighters, if he is better than a few characters here, which is almost impossible, right? The idea that he's going to be better than the core 4 on this team of the gods at the 7 years and the 10 years, I would say that's slim to none, right? Like, the odds of them being better than really anything from the 10th anniversary, aside from like Evolution Blue Vegeta and maybe Goku Frieza, I would say that's pretty unlikely that we are going to see something like that. But with this setup right here, he just wouldn't make that team, right? It's really, he's coming down to mission execution and androids, maybe power absorption and movie bosses. That's really where this guy is going to be fitting. And the link set is just okay, right? Like this. So it would more than likely look like something, it would probably be Red Ribbon Army. They would probably get rid of Fierce Battle, would stay. Maybe Fear and Faith goes for legendary power, or Android Assault goes, maybe Nightmare goes for legendary power. Because obviously with LRs, you have to have that link. So it would be interesting, this being a Big Bad Bosses character. When it comes to the mission execution team, though, I'm trying to think of, like, when Big Bad Bosses, like, how many characters are on this are going to be able to take advantage of it, right? Does Ginyu have it? Ginyu does not have it, right? Because he has, like, his whole Ginyu Force sort of link set, right? So when it comes to Big Bad Bosses on this team, it's not the greatest link here for this specific setup. But again, it's like, as long as he can kind of go slot 2 and work pretty well alongside some of these characters, I think a Fusion Android 13 could work out pretty well, right? With Super 17, it's a bit of a different case, because it's like, if you do a Super 17, he's just going to outright replace this guy, and then it's like, when this guy easy A's, is he even going to be better than the new counterpart, right? So I think Android 13 really does make a lot of sense in this context of, like, this guy would work well with mission execution, he could work well with other teams, and it would be a nice, like, sort of counterpart to a Carnival LR we saw in 2023, coming out basically a year and a half later. Would not be the craziest thing in the world. Now, some other potential options, maybe they go back to the Saiyan saga with like a Nappa, or funny enough, maybe like a Raditz. I think that could work pretty well. The physical Raditz EZA I really want during this celebration, if we were to somehow get that. I think that would be really fun for the channel, as well as just the Dokkan community as a whole, because this guy really has a reputation, and if his EZA has like a massive comeback, I think that could be really fun. But again, it's tough, right? Maybe a Wrathful Broly, I think maybe potentially could happen, right? This guy, it's been a while since we've gotten an update for Wrathful Broly, right? Like, we've seen some base form Brolys from Dragon Ball Super, and some, like, we had the Broly trio, we had Dragon Ball Super Broly for the 9th anniversary, but that guy is from Super Saiyan and beyond, and Wrathful Broly is really, like, kind of the most unique thing that came from Broly in that movie, right? Because Super Saiyan Broly we've seen before, and then, obviously the full power Broly is very just similar to the legendary Super Saiyan version of Broly. So I thought that this was really unique with like the power of the Ozaru absorbed and stuff like that. And this guy EZA'd right away 6 years ago. So it's almost 6.5 years ago. And, I think it would be time to get an update with this, but I think that this character probably would fit a little bit better alongside like a God Vegeta or something like that, but definitely a possibility here that we do see somebody like a Wrathful Broly in this spot, because again, it's not the most hyped version of Broly. I think it would be cool to see, but again, the most hyped version of Broly probably right now, it still probably goes Z Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, and then Super Full Power Broly, right? Then maybe Super Saiyan Broly from Dragon Ball Super Broly. It's tough to say. Let me know in the comment section below, which version of Broly do you prefer? Do you prefer the Z Broly or the Super Broly, and which one do you think is more hype? Because I think Z Broly ultimately is just more iconic, and they decided to do basically a whole celebration revolving around Z Broly for the worldwide download celebration, while Dragon Ball Super Broly was kind of just a part of the 9th anniversary, and then he was obviously overshadowed by Beast Gohan. So there you guys go. A bit of a tough spot here in terms of who we are thinking this character is going to be. Maybe I'm just missing somebody, but again, the context here is really hard to sort of put together because it's just the way that it is right now, because the Tau team just does not have like a lot of like slam dunk LR choices. But I think that it'll be a fun little thing to see who they decide to go with. So let me know down below who you guys think it is. If you did enjoy today's video and found it entertaining, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new around here so you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one.